Hello, everyone, and welcome to NHF's Super 7 Storytime series. Super 7 is a children's book targeted to kids 8 to 12 with ultra-rare bleeding disorders, but everyone will find something to enjoy. This series will include various bleeding disorder community members who share a little bit about themselves and read a chapter from the book. If you couldn't join us during NHF's Pajama Book Launch Party, please watch the party on our YouTube channel where Dr. Len Valentino reads the first chapter of the book. Please note every week, NHF will publish a new video with a chapter reading from the book, Super 7, for you to watch on your own time. You'll also notice that our guests are in pajamas, and we encourage you to watch these in the evening in your pajamas as well. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome our very first guest of the Storytime series, Jasmine Palderai. And Jasmine, hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for being here with us today. I think I'm just going to kick it off, and I'm going to ask you to start off by just telling us a little bit about you and where you're from.
Okay, so hello everyone. As Nicole mentioned, my name is Jasmine. I'm an education specialist at NHF. I am currently living in New York City, but originally from the lovely, lovely state of Virginia.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you're doing well in New York, and I'm sure that you miss Virginia. All right, so next, very important question. What is your favorite food?
Whoa, okay. So I love ice cream very, very much. I have a bit of a sweet tooth. So I would say ice cream, and specifically my favorite flavor is dark raspberry, and if it has dark chocolate chunks in there, incredible. Highly recommend.
Wow, that sounds delicious. And you already took my question. Like, is there any specific toppings? It sounds like you have like your standard go-to.
I do.
All right, this will be the last question I ask you, and it is, why is the book Super 7 important to you?
Yeah, so I think this book is just so important because it gives kids a chance to really see themselves as the main character of the book, when previously maybe this wasn't really an option that they were given. To have a character, and like a main character at that, have a rare bleeding disorder that is representation right there. And I'm an advocate for representation across the board, but especially in children's books, I think there's power to that, for a child to really be able to see themselves as the character, like I said, and put themselves in their shoes. So for them to like experience some of what Tanner's experiencing, feel some of the emotions Tanner's going through, that's just so amazing. And it's a giant leap in the right direction, and I just hope that everyone who finishes reading this book leaves feeling empowered and uplifted in their rare bleeding disorder.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Jasmine. Very well said. With that, I'd like to officially pass it off to you to read us the second chapter of Super 7. Would you mind doing the honor?
I would love to. So everyone, join me for chapter 2. Like Nicole mentioned, we've already read chapter 1, but I will be reading chapter 2 of Super 7. So get cozy, get comfortable, grab your hot chocolate, and let's hear what Tanner is up to. Okay, so chapter 2. The balled up pair of socks sailed through the air, thumped against my bedroom door, and dropped through the mini basketball net on the back of the door. Tanner gets 3, I shouted, raising my arms in the air. The door opened. Mom looked at the socks on the floor, up at me, and quirked an eyebrow. Hey, LeBron, she said, I'm off to work. Come down for breakfast or you'll be late. And still no biking for you today, not until your ankle's completely healed. If you hurry, Dad will drop you at school before he drops Victoria. She picked up the socks and tossed them back at me. And can you at least try to aim for the laundry hamper? That's Super 7 to you, Mom, I told her, grinning. And the hamper isn't high enough. She glanced back at me, smiling. You're getting too tall, she said. No such thing, I replied, tossing the socks in the hamper. Day 4 since the semifinals, since my little ankle twist. I grabbed a clean pair of socks and put them on. First the right, and then I winced as I pulled on the left one. My ankle still ached. Why was my blood so useless? And why was Victoria so clumsy? I pulled off the sock, grabbed the elastic bandage I'd taken off last night, and tossed it on my desk. I slipped it over my ankle and pulled the sock back on it. Then I swept my homework from my desk into my backpack and grabbed my gym bag. By the time I got downstairs, Mom was heading out the front door, calling, "Bye all, see you at the game." Dad was in the kitchen, sipping coffee and making our lunches at the counter. Victoria sat at the table, slurping up cereal. I scowled at her, snatched away the cereal box, and poured some into my bowl. "The game is at 6, I reminded Dad. "Will Mom remember?" "She knows, and I know. We wouldn't miss it for the world," Dad said with a reassuring grin. "It's the first time we've ever been in the finals," I told him. He knew that also, but I liked saying it out loud. "You all had a great season," he said. He took a quick sip of coffee and continued packing my lunch, his back to us. "We're really proud of you, all 3 of us." I looked at Victoria. She picked up her bowl and drank from it, hiding her eyes. "Thanks, Dad," I said, continuing to glare at my sister. "Tanner, how's your ankle doing this morning?" Dad asked. I didn't take my eyes away from Victoria. "Fine, Dad." Victoria set her bowl down, her eyes welling up with tears as she left the room. "Be ready to go in 15 minutes, honey," he called over his shoulder to her. He sealed her brown paper lunch bag and turned. "Tanner," Dad repeated firmly, looking me in the eye. "It's only been a few days since you tripped." Took a mouthful of cereal and crunched on it. Dad waited. I chewed and I swallowed. I took a deep breath. "My ankle still hurts," I admitted. He nodded. "The bleed only happened 4 days ago," he reminded me. "I know," I mumbled, thanks to Victoria. I shoveled in another spoonful of cereal. "Tanner," Dad said, "I think you need a plan for the day. I think your plan should be take your medicine, go to school, and tell Coach Velasco about the bleed. He'll understand why you can't play today. Does that sound good?" I thought about it. I didn't want to tell Coach anything. Yeah, my ankle still hurts now, but the game wasn't for another 8 hours. If I told Coach now, he'd bench me for the game for sure. And well, I hadn't quite decided whether I'd play today or not. But Dad didn't have to know that. He'd only worry. "Yeah, I guess. Okay." "Okay," Dad said and took a sip of coffee. "And no matter what happens, you'll suit up and join your team on the floor after school, right? Mom, Victoria, and I will be there to cheer you all on." I tried to smile back, but man, not playing in our middle school championship game after working hard all last year and this season to get there just didn't seem fair. So that is chapter 2. If you want to know what happens in chapter 3, stay tuned next week for our next special guest, and I will pass it back to Nicole.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for reading chapter 2 with us. And as Jasmine said, please join us next week if you want to know what happens next. And again, thank you all for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time with our new guest. Bye-bye.
Thank you.